Ladies and gentlemen, we will continue the agenda in Bahasa. So we please you to use the interpreter devices provided if needed. Baik Bapak Ibu hadirin sekalian, acara selanjutnya kita akan menyimak keynote speech dari Ketua Dewan Komisioner Otoritas Jasa Keuangan, Bapak Mahendra Siregar SEMEC, yang akan diwakilkan oleh Ketua Dewan Audit Merangkap Dewan Komisioner Otoritas Jasa Keuangan, Ibu Sofia Watimena SEEK CA MBA QIA. Ibu Sofia Watimena merupakan sarjana akuntansi dari Universitas Gadjah Mada Yogyakarta dan menyelesaikan Master of Business Administration di Leiden University. Beliau pernah menjabat sebagai Direktur Eksekutif Keuangan dan kemudian diangkat menjadi Direktur Utama PT Indonesia Asahan Aluminium sebelum ditunjuk sebagai Ketua Dewan Audit Merangkap Anggota Dewan Komisioner OJK untuk periode 2022 hingga 2027. Dan langsung saja kami persilahkan untuk menyampaikan keynote speech dengan judul Sustainable Finance in Indonesia, Implementation and Outlook. Please welcome Ibu Sofia Watimena.
Tes, ya. Terima kasih, thank you very much for the MC. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semuanya. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Very good morning. Miss Angela Simatupang, Presiden IIA Indonesia. Miss Sally Ann Pitt, Chair of IIA Global Board 2023 until 2024. Very nice to meet you. Nohiro Mori Sang, Chair International Audit Standard Board IIA. Michael Gallego, President ACIIA, speakers, moderators, and all attendees. I was informed there are approximately 700 participants. Applause for everyone. I would like to begin my speech by conveying warm regards from Bapak Mahendra Siregar, the chairman of the OJK, who unfortunately could not attend today's event. I'm honored to attend and represent Mr. Siregar in delivering the keynote speech this morning with the topic of Sustainable Finance in Indonesia, Implementation and Outlook. I also extend my sincere appreciation to IIA Indonesia for hosting today's event and bringing us together in a very nice place and island of Bali. Ladies and gentlemen, as we reflect on the events of recent years, we must acknowledge the growing risk posed by climate change. The Global Risk Report 2024, issued by the World Economic Forum, also referred by Sally earlier, has placed sustainability at the forefront of global concerns. In fact, global average concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere continued to rise as we produce about 52 billion tons of greenhouse gases every year. And 2023 was recorded as the warmest year in history. It raises climate disaster risk across the world and could reduce the value of global financial assets by as much as around 24 trillion US dollars. This serves as a stark reminder that climate change is not just a distant threat. It is here and it is now. Here in Indonesia, we are accurately aware of our vulnerability to these changes. According to the various Maplecroft Climate Change Vulnerability Index, which evaluates the susceptibility of human population to the impacts of climate extremes and changes in climate over the next 3 decades. Overall vulnerabilities from climate change physical risks for Indonesia are high. You can see in the map in the orange color. Indonesia, having experienced almost 300 climate-related natural disasters over the past 3 decades, affecting more than 16 million people. And as reported by World Risk Report 2023, Indonesia ranks as the second highest risk country for disasters out of 193 countries. IMF also stated that countries with tropical climates like Indonesia tend to experience more severe impacts compared to those with colder climates. A study by ADB estimates that floods and landslides occurring during the rainy season could reduce Indonesia's GDP growth by up to 0.1% per year. Furthermore, Bappenas predicts that Indonesia could potentially lose 0.66% to 3.45% of its GDP due to climate risks. This has led to imperative steps to protect the economy and also the people. However, implementing sustainable finance and climate-related policies in Indonesia is confronted with significant challenges, including the limited availability of supporting data, data standardization, and generally accepted standards for sustainability reporting. The lack of technology, expert competence, and understanding of sustainable finance also pose major challenges. There is also a perception that sustainable practices are an additional cost, resulting to lower profit margins. This mindset can deter companies from adopting the necessary measures. However, we must shift our perspective to view sustainability not as cost, but as an investment in our future, one that will yield long-term benefits for both business and society. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that every country has taken initiatives to mitigate and adapt to the impacts of climate change. Indonesia has ratified the Paris Agreement and introduced its aims for reducing carbon emission in its nationally determined contribution, or NDC, set a net zero emission target in 2060 or sooner, and issued Presidential Decree of the Republic of Indonesia number 111, year 2022, concerning implementation of the achievement of Sustainable Development Goals. Our commitment to a sustainable economy must be compatible with the interests of our nation to ensure that all can prosper from this policy. In supporting the government's commitment, OJK, or Indonesia Financial Service Authority, has initiated the development of several regulations, such as the implementation of sustainable finance for financial service institutions, issuers, and public companies, carbon trading through carbon exchange, issuance and requirements of debt securities or sukuk based on sustainability. Most recently, in year 2024, OJK enhanced the Indonesia Green Taxonomy Edition 1.0 into the Indonesia Taxonomy for Sustainable Finance, which known as TKBI, and published the Climate Risk Management and Scenario Analysis, or CRMS, as an integrated framework covering aspects of governance, strategy, risk management, metrics and target, and disclosure to assess the resilience of bank business models and strategies in the face of climate change in the short, medium, and long term. Dive into TKBI. TKBI is a classification of economic activities that support SDGs across economic, environmental, and social aspects into green or the transition. It differs from the previous version, which is classified into like a traffic light, red, yellow, and green, but under TKBS it's only green or transition. TKBS serves as the main standard for defining and classifying business activities that promote sustainable efforts and contribute to the achievement of Indonesia NZE, or net zero emission target. One of the main TKBA objectives focuses on climate change, of adaptation, and mitigation. The climate change mitigation focus on the decarbonization pathway, activities in line with the commitment to keep global temperature rise below 1.5 degrees Celsius, according to the Paris Agreement. Moving forward, in the near future, OJK plans to update POJK, or Peraturan OJK, OJK Regulation number 51 year 2017, with regards to the implementation of sustainable finance for financial service institutions, issuers, and public companies to be in line with IFRS S1 and S2. This revision is not just a regulatory update, it is a strategic move to promote transition financing and foster the development of a robust carbon market ecosystem in Indonesia. We also aim to enhance the integration of sustainability disclosures with company financial statements to improve transparency and reduce the risk of greenwashing. Looking ahead, in the present and the future, we must all do our part to hasten the transition to a sustainable and inclusive economy. In conclusion, the challenges we face are significant, but so are the opportunities. By embracing sustainable finance, we can unlock trillions in investment, generate new jobs, and build a more resilient and prosperous future for generations to come. Allow me to quote Ms. Sri Mulyani Indrawati, our Minister of Finance. Climate change is an existential challenge for the world, and no one can claim to be the sole hero in the fight against it. The challenges of climate change are extremely complex and require contributions from everyone. The fight against climate change demands technology, the right policies, and unwavering spirit. Let us commit to this path, knowing that the choices we make today will shape the world of tomorrow. Thank you. Enjoy the discussion. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Santi, Santi, Santi Om.
Terima kasih Ibu, mohon maaf Ibu, kami mohon kesediaan Ibu untuk tetap berada di atas panggung Ibu untuk menerima token appreciation, dan kami mengundang Ibu Angela Simatupang untuk berkenan memberikan plakat penghargaan kepada Ibu Sofia Watimena. Kita berikan tepuk tangan Bapak Ibu hadirin sekalian. Terima kasih banyak kami ucapkan kepada Ibu Sofia Watimena atas dukungannya dan kehadirannya pada acara kita hari ini.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Chairman of the Board of Commissioner of the Indonesia Financial Services Authority, Bapak Mahendra Siregar, President of Institute of Internal Auditors Indonesia, Ibu Angela Simatupang, President of Asian Confederations of Institutes of Internal Auditors, Mr. Michael Gallego, distinguished guests and attendees. A very good morning, esteemed member of the IIA. It is my honor to be here today representing Minister Erick Thohir to discuss the vital roles of BUMNs or state-owned enterprises in expanding the perspective of small and medium-sized enterprises in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, we all recognize the immense potentials of SMEs as the backbone of Indonesia's economy. They represent over 99% of all businesses, employ much of Indonesia's workforce, and contribute significantly to Indonesia's GDP. However, to truly unlock their potentials, we must equip them with the tools and knowledge and opportunities to thrive in an increasingly competitive and globalized marketplace. Ladies and gentlemen, good corporate governance is essential for Indonesia BUMNs to effectively assist Indonesians SMEs. Why? Because good corporate governance provides effective and sustainable support to Indonesian SMEs. There are 5 key reasons why we do this. First, we want our BUMN to build trust and confidence. When BUMNs demonstrate strong corporate governance practices, it fosters trust and confidence among SMEs. This encourages them to seek partnership, collaborations, and support from BUMNs, knowing that their interests will be protected and the relationships will be fair and transparent. Second, we want our BUMNs to ensure efficient resource allocations. Good corporate governance ensures that BUMNs allocate their resources, including financial and technical assistance to SMEs, in a responsible and efficient manner. This maximizes the impact of their support and prevents any misuse or misallocations of funds. Third, we want our BUMNs to promote transparency and accountability. Transparent processes and clear accountability mechanisms help ensure that BUMNs assistance programs for SMEs are implemented effectively and that any issues or concerns are addressed promptly. This also allows for better monitoring and evaluation of the impact of BUMN support on SME development. Fourth, we want our BUMNs to mitigate risks and enhance sustainability. Good corporate governance practices help BUMNs identify and manage risks associated with their SMEs assistance program. This includes mitigating financial risks, ensuring compliance with the regulations, and safeguarding against potential conflict of interest. By managing this risk, BUMNs can ensure the long-term sustainability of their SME support initiatives. Fifth, we want our BUMN to enhance their reputation and attractiveness as a development agents. Strong corporate governance practices enhance the reputation of BUMNs, making them more attractive partners for SMEs and other stakeholders. This can lead to increased collaborations, opportunities, and access to a wider range of resources and expertise. Lastly, we want our BUMNs to support national economic development. By effectively assisting SMEs, BUMNs play a vital role in promoting national economic development. Good corporate governance ensures that BUMNs can fulfill this role in a sustainable and impactful manner, contributing to job creations, innovations, and most importantly, overall economic growth. With this view, I urge all stakeholders, including the IIA, to actively support and contribute to this national endeavor. We need to work together so that we can create a vibrant and sustainable SME ecosystem that drives economic growth, creates jobs, and improves the lives of millions of Indonesians. In closing, I like to quote Minister Erick Thohir's statement. He said, "BUMNs must not only focus on their own profit, but also on their contribution to the development of the nations, especially in empowering Indonesians' SMEs." Thank you for your attention. I look forward to our continued collaboration in building a brighter future for Indonesia. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.